Okay everyone, welcome back to the channel for another video on Gran Turismo 7, and I am back yet again with another 2 million credit guide to help you get them credits as quickly and as easily as possible. So this week we are at Watkins Glen, the short track in the Alpine, and it's another really fun combination to drive. I have to be honest with you, I think PD actually put more effort in with some of these than they actually do for the daily races, because I had a lot of fun driving this Alpine around this track. It likes to drift into the corners. You're going to love this time trial. I think a lot of you are going to be able to get the gold as well, and at least the silver, so at least 1 million credits for a big chunk of you, because there's not that many corners, although there is some very tricky corners on this track that I'm going to show you in this guide how to master and how to really get the most out of. So let's show you how to enter this time trial. It's very simple. You're going to go into sport mode in the top right hand corner there. Click on that and you're going to be greeted with the online time trial section. You're going to click on there and you have 2 available. You've got 6 days left on the Willow Springs if you want to do that. I have a guide for that also on the channel, so check that out. But we're going into Watkins Glen in the Alpine, and you have 14 days from the time it goes live. So obviously 13 days and 23 hours or something like that left at the point I've done this. So my predicted gold is going to be a 1 minute 22.3. It's currently on a 1 minute 22.7, and you can see I actually got myself into the top 10 also. But yeah, for the silver you're probably going to need to get into the 23s and 27s for the bronze. So yeah, if you want to chase my ghost, simply click on that and you will be able to chase it from the top 10 leaderboard. Now do remember, this time trial is on for 14 days like I say, so you will not receive your 2 million credits until the time trial has ended, because you need to be within 3% of the top time, not the amount of people, it's the top time. So going into turn 1, we are going to be looking for the 300 board on our left hand side. So we're going to actually break pretty much dead level with that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down to 4th gear as we go into the corner, and then we're going to be very patient before we go to 3rd, and then 3rd just about this point, just past 100 boards, so that we can start sliding the car in slightly. So you're going to see the car slight rotation, and then as soon as we're just about to get back on the throttle as the right hand tyre touches a curb, we're going to go back up to 4th gear. This is going to steady the car and give us much better traction and nice pull out of the corner. Just be careful you don't run wide on the exit. You have to keep all 2 right hand tyres on the curb. If you go over that curb with them 2 right hand tyres, you're going to invalidate the lap, so keep your right hand tyres on the curb there. Now we're going to rev that car out in 4th gear, then up to 5th gear, and again all the way through it's completely flat out, but you do want to try and use the maximum width for the track. So you can see P1 in the world using the curb there on the right hand tyre, and then the left hand tyre up onto the curb again there. And then as you come through into the next section, what I like to do is, I don't want to take too much curb as I'm going into 6th gear up here. I just kind of just brush along the curb here. You can see he actually hit the curb a bit hard, and I think he actually lost a bit of momentum there as he clipped that curb. But now we're going to go into the trickiest section on the whole track. So we're going to go looking for the 400 board. That's where we're going to aim to brake around, or just slightly past that 400 board. So as we approach it there, just on the brakes, a fraction past that 400 board. Now keep your eye on the throttle and braking input as I go through here, because we're going to stay in 6th gear at this point, but we are going to go down to 5th gear and try and hold 5th gear all the way through this chicane. So keep your eye on the brakes and a little bit of throttle going in. That's to stabilize the car, because as we hit this curb, you don't want to be off the throttle. If you're on just the brake, it snaps to the right, so you just want to be playing with that throttle and brake all the way through here. You can see just gradually putting the throttle in, and now at this point you want to just clip your left hand tyres onto the curb, because we're really going to attack this kind of corner cut here. So basically, as long as your left hand tyre is on the curb on the left, your right hand tyre can go on the grass. It's basically the curbs of the track limits. So now at this point we're going to put a tiny bit of braking input in there as we lift off the throttle and just play with the throttle, and then again a little bit more braking input. That's just to get the rotation onto the front of the car, to put the weight on the front. And now we're just coasting, waiting for that grip to build, and then onto the throttle. Now you're going to see little lifts off the throttle as I go through here, and then we're going to short shift into 5th gear on the exit there. We're not going to rev it out fully in 4th, and now it's just flat out. Just be careful again on the exit there that you don't run wide and pick up a penalty on that curve on the left there. So next we're looking for the 300 board on the right hand side. You're going to see it approach now. Now I'm not going to go down to 4th gear for this, we're just going to go down to 5th. So watch what we do. Onto the brakes just before the 300 board, and we're going to go down to 5th gear. Now I could have turned it a fraction earlier. Again, you want to kind of get the car almost sliding into this corner, so I didn't get as much slide as I would have liked. You can see I've got a little bit there, but I don't get it up onto the curb quite as much as I would have liked, but it's still reasonably well done. And again, be cautious on the curb on the exit there that you don't pick up a penalty. Now into the final corner, I use this big board on the left there, making sure I brake well before that. So you can see onto the brakes quite a bit before that big board, and then down to 4th gear, and again you're going to get a little bit of a slide going into this corner and then back onto the throttle really aggressively. So watch, sliding in and then onto that throttle really aggressively as you just skim the curb on the right hand side, and that should hold the car all the way through with a nice little slide. And then just be careful again that you don't hit the wall and invalidate that lap, and over the line for a 1 minute 20.4, which I'm pretty happy with. The aim was a 0.5 and we got a 0.4. So remember, if this does help you out, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. What I'm going to do now is go through the lap from the chase camera and try and show you the lines with this footage with the kilometers an hour on. So again, going into someone, you can actually see the slide in a little bit better from this angle. So you can see sliding in up to 4th gear. Just be careful, right hand tires, you see how they just stay on the curb. If you go over that curb line, you are getting an invalidated lap. So again, using the curb on the right, just gradually skimming them curbs. So again, on this left, just skimming the curbs, not too aggressive. And again, same thing here, just skimming them curbs as we go through, and then just hold that curb line all the way through. And now into this next part where we're going to put a little bit of braking and acceleration input as we go on into the apex of the corner. So watch that little bit of accelerator going, just blipping the throttle just a bit, just to steady the car. It just keeps the car a little bit more stable through the corner, and it's all about taking advantage of the track limit through there, and almost helps you as well with the rotation into this next right hand corner as I go down to 4th, and then just gradually put that throttle in. Being patient before you put the throttle maximum down as well, because you can easily run wide on that left and invalidate the lap. So again, this corner 300 board, sliding it in with that little 5th gear. So slide it in, could have took a little bit more. If you can see, we do hit the curb, but could have took a bit more off. And again, being cautious that you don't run wide on the right hand side. And again, into this final corner, a little bit of a slide in, and then powering your way through the corner. A really fun car to drive, I have to say. Make sure you give this a go. It entertained me driving this round here. High speed corners, sliding around. Road cars can be a lot of fun on this game. So yeah, if you did enjoy it, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comment section if this guide has helped you out, and we'll be back with more of these as they release them next week and on into the future. Thanks again for watching, everyone.